What's up, everyone, and welcome to our E3 post coverage. This time around, we're going to be covering Sony's press conference. With me today, I have Austin Miller, Trevor Bradley, I'm Corey Foster, and this is Drew Shishley. So first, we'll start off. We'll go through the list of the things that were shown off at the press conference, and then we'll get these guys' opinions on the press conference as a whole. So starting off, Sony came out swinging. They went with God of War to start the trailer. No 4 in it, so a lot of people were saying that that is Kratos. It's not like a different incarnation or whatever. So it sounds like a continuation or something in that vein, but it's not a reboot. It doesn't seem like.
No, it doesn't seem like it either. It just almost seems like a rebranding to a point, but without being a reboot.
I mean, it's so stylistically different.
Yeah, that too.
So it's a re-something.
Yeah.
And Trevor can speak on this too, more than any of us can, because he played the first.
I played a little bit of 3 and a little bit of Ascension, so I really don't have a whole lot of experience.
But you do know that it has changed a lot since then.
That's what I'm saying. I can speak to the gameplay at least a little bit because it looks very different.
Yeah,
right.
I like it.
So now it has more of a over-the-shoulder type camera.
Almost a Dark Souls-esque view to it.
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. Like I think you mentioned it felt more ground. Someone mentioned it felt more grounded.
I think it looks, from the little I saw of the previous trilogy, I think it looks more grounded, which I'm totally into. Yeah, I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, he's not like has the chains on the blades and like swinging around and everything, like comboing and juggling everybody up and stuff like that. It looks like it's more just like...
It still looks intense though, like he's got that like, rage meter or whatever it was. Like
I liked it when he was like yelling at his kids and he was spilling up. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Shortly after that, we got a trailer for Days Gone, which they didn't confirm this, but I'm pretty sure this is what was known as Dead Don't Ride. This is coming out of Sony Bend. They've been quiet for about 4 years now, I guess. So the fact that they're coming out now with their game is a huge deal for them. And I guess we can go ahead and talk about what we saw later with that. They came out again at the end of the conference and showed gameplay. I mean, what did you guys think of that? I thought it looked fantastic. It looks like it has a... some people on Twitter were saying it has... it looks like State of Decay a little bit. I could kind of see that. I think it has not an incredibly amount of influence, but I think there are definitely influence being drawn from The Last of Us.
Yeah. I think that it definitely contributes a lot of the atmosphere.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I felt.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a beautiful game, but the thing that got me was like the horde of zombies that was coming.
I don't know if I've ever seen that big of a horde, of a mass of zombies in a game.
And
like
it
pouring at them.
Yeah, like it was like a huge mass, but you could tell like there was different individual zombies in between.
Yeah.
Like
I don't even know if Left 4 Dead had that amount of zombies at once.
Yeah, I was about to make the comparison of Left 4 Dead because like it's one of the games where like they are considered like fast zombies. Like there's fast ones and there's slow ones. And Left 4 Dead is definitely like that, but the hordes were never.
Yeah.
You couldn't really compare it to that. There were a lot of big hordes, but.
Yeah, these guys were definitely quick, which I like that. So after the trailer for Days Gone, we saw another trailer for The Last Guardian. That's coming out. We got a release date for that finally. That's coming out October 26th this year. I think that's
finally.
Yeah, I think that is very very good for them because with Horizon dropping out until spring, they needed another fall game to coincide with Gran Turismo. So, and I don't know if The Last Guardian will be a huge hit, but I think it'll be a hit. I mean, people have been waiting for
definitely.
this game for a while, so.
I hope they didn't rush anything to have it ready earlier.
Well, I will say, I mean, I thought the trailer was very well done. I mean, it kind of that trailer gripped me a little bit, like with the way the music swelled up in certain parts.
Yeah, definitely.
It had some motion to it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
After that, we got actual gameplay. Well, we saw gameplay last year, but we got quite a good chunk of gameplay this year out of Horizon Zero Dawn. They showed off quite a few new mechanics, it looked like. That game continues to wow me, and I can't wait to play it. I mean, that game looks awesome.
Yeah, I like they like used the rope to get the what was it, like a deer horse thing?
Yeah,
I don't know
something like that.
I don't know what it was, but they like tamed it somehow. She like stuck the staff inside its like head, and like that was crazy. And then she rode it in the village. So I thought
that was really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that could have a chance of being PlayStation's next big IP, along with The Last of Us. I mean, Uncharted sounds like they're kind of that series might go to the wayside for a few years. It sounds like, at least.
Yeah.
And I think they see the importance in that game. After that, we got, I don't know if you want to call it Resident Evil or Resident Evil 7. I believe they're going to call it Resident Evil 7, but the way that the title was stylized in the splash screen,
that's awesome though.
So it sounds like this game is the derivative of what we got out of the Kitchen VR game everyone was talking about a year or so ago. And people were speculating at that time that maybe that's what it was, but no one was for sure. It sounds like it's the next step from Kitchen, and I don't know, just watching what they showed kind of creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah, especially for it to be all in like playable in VR.
Yeah, that's a big point too.
Fully playable me on the couch.
Yeah,
like, I can't imagine it right in front of my face.
And I think for Resident Evil series, like I'm glad it's going back to more of a horror feel to it, because like
less shooty bang bang.
Yeah.
It's very militaristic, especially.
Just kept getting more and more actiony, and I was just like, okay, I don't really want this from Resident Evil.
That Operation Raccoon City they had a little while ago. Ooh.
Yeah. That one was full on military shooter, basically, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was rough for a lot of reasons.
Full VR support coming to that, though. I think that could be a huge PlayStation VR seller.
Yeah. VR horror is going to be huge.
Speaking of VR, after that, they went into... they started talking about VR quite a bit more. They said 50 games by year's end. PlayStation VR is going to come out.
Are those like full-fledged games, or are those like...
So they say 50 games by year's end. I'm going to assume they also mean like experiences or like spin-off missions or one-offs or whatever.
Couldn't expect them to make full playthroughs in VR for that.
That's
game.
impressive.
Oh yeah, that's
So like that they showed off a Battlefront mission, like in the
the
X-Wing or whatever.
mission.
That's probably going to be one of their 50
Which that
games.
looked cool.
It looked great.
Like, I
But-
wish there was more than one mission.
Well, and I hope that they price that accordingly, because if they start pricing that stuff too high, then
$60 one
VR could really eat it.
and then the same with the Final Fantasy VR experience thing.
And we also saw a game, what looks like a full game, called Farpoint. I believe this is the first time we've seen this one. It looks really interesting to me. I mean, I'm kind of biased. I'm into these spacey type games, but it looks
They look
cool.
cool.
They look cool.
It's like a weird, like Mars kind of. You're out there on your own.
It
type
reminded me, have y'all ever played the Red Faction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought. Like, I know the story, they kind of hinted at like what was happening, and I'm sure there was some big thing to it that I don't know, but that's just what I thought.
Yeah, I can definitely see the resemblance there.
And then we also got a Batman Arkham VR announcement. I don't think that is a... I would assume that that's... Did they say if that's Rocksteady?
Yeah, Rocksteady's logo showed up.
It is Rocksteady's? Okay. So, I wonder how much of a game that'll actually be.
Yeah.
And how much of an experience that'll be. Because, I mean, that's what you have to ask when they show all these VR games. Because, you know, the first year or two, we're probably going to get a lot of experiences rather than games. After that, they went on to show the Final Fantasy 15 trailer. That's going to come out September 30th this year. What'd you guys think of this gameplay demo that we got?
The Final Fantasy trailer? I thought it was pretty cool.
Well,
I liked it.
Was it just a trailer? I thought there was some gameplay that they showed too.
Some gameplay too.
Yeah, I mean,
I think a
it was
lot
like-
of it
Or
was
maybe the
same
gameplay
way.
was in the trailer a lot, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I liked what they showed more than the last showing of it.
Yeah,
but-
that
Yeah,
at
Microsoft.
But I think it was still
it was
largely
rough.
cinematic. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good
I did
cinematic.
like it, yeah.
Yeah.
And as Drew said, there's a VR experience coming to that.
Play as Prompto.
I was a little surprised they didn't mention Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Well,
I thought they would at least like been like, here's a date or here's something we're doing.
see,
Yeah.
they kind of got in hot water last year because they announced Final Fantasy VII, and then right after the press conference, someone asked them who's directing the project, and they said we don't know yet. They literally didn't have a producer or anything on it yet.
Oh.
Well then.
And
I'll do it.
shortly after, they got someone, and he didn't even know he was
Square
on it.
Enix.
He didn't even know he was on it.
I'm open.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So after Final Fantasy, we got into some Activision stuff. Got into Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
Woo!
I actually thought this was really well
I didn't
done.
think it looked bad at all.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
From what they showed,
I was
and
pretty impressed with what they showed.
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
Like I said
I think-
before, like
it didn't drag on or anything.
No.
yeah, like I liked how they did it, like super futuristic. Like I said before, like do something new, do something different.
Yeah.
And see, and we'll talk about this probably towards the end of this one, but I like how they cut this short because they could have dragged out the Call of Duty stuff for like 15 to 20 minutes because they showed off Infinite Warfare, and then after that they showed off a trailer for Modern Warfare. If they wanted to, which yes,
We
I'm
that.
stoked to get back to Modern Warfare. But if they wanted to, they could have shown off a short gameplay demo of the remastered stuff. I mean, it wouldn't have really made much sense, but to give people a better idea of the graphics and stuff, they could have. And I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that Sony said, we have this partnership. We appreciate it, but we're going to really focus on our own stuff. And that was great. Continuing with the Activision stuff, Sony announced a partnership with Activision to remaster the 3 original Crash games. Some of them going back to PS1, I believe. And I mean, that you talk about a huge deal right there. That's incredibly huge for PlayStation gamers.
You know, I mean, I remember playing like I think it was the first Crash, like way back,
Yeah.
and I just had so much fun with that. I can't wait to see what they do with this. You know,
Yeah. But I mean, huge win. I mean, they'll target a lot of people that are looking for nostalgia, just like, and it seems like PlayStation's hitting on these notes right now pretty well with Ratchet and Clank. Maybe we'll get a Jack and Daxter remaster or something
year.
one day. That'd be nice.
that's the day. That's the day I've been
yeah.
waiting for.
They showed off next Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Cool. We don't need to say
I mean,
anything
it's
more than that.
it's a regular Lego
Yeah.
Star Wars looking
Comedy,
game.
Lego.
Yeah.
Played a Lego game. Played them.
Now then we got something that I don't know if anyone was actually expecting. Now, predictions came out saying, "Oh, I expect this," but I don't. Were you actually expecting?
I thought he would show up, but if you had asked me like, so this trailer's gonna have Norman Reedus and this weird baby,
So he's gonna be
I would have been
naked.
like, what?
And
I knew Norman Reedus.
footprints in the sand. And,
So what we're speaking of is Hideo Kojima's next game, and right now it's titled or codenamed Death Stranding, and it had Norman Reedus in it. I have no idea what that game is. I'm sure no one else does.
It looks
other
like they
than-
just destroyed everything in the ocean. Like all sea life is gone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is it post-apocalyptic or is it like? I mean, from the concept art where they're showing like the guy with the astronaut, I originally thought it was going to be on like a different planet or something.
for this game. Then?
Yeah, that's for
Okay,
this
I wasn't
one.
sure if it was because they said it's like it's a mascot, so it's not necessarily a character.
I mean,
It could be Norman Reedus, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
What's
could
up with the
be.
baby?
Now, see, there were a lot of people pointing out on Reddit that they were looking at the eyes underneath the mask, and they said it looks like
Norman Reedus' eyes.
Yeah, they said it looks like his eyes and his
looking at that for a
facial
while.
Those
structure.
detectives over there.
That game, I would assume it's at least 2 years out.
Yeah.
They're probably showing it super early, but I think that I don't think it's a bad thing, them showing a game that early out, because they need to. I mean, it's Hideo Kojima. Like that was a huge land when they got him, and they need to, show that to everyone.
Did they say what engine they're using then,
Nope,
or anything
they
like
didn't.
that? No.
And I have a feeling that they still probably don't know. Like
Yeah.
I think the engine that you saw running the trailer that we saw earlier, that might be a completely different engine that runs the game. He said it's running real time,
right.
but that doesn't necessarily mean like we're gonna use the same engine in the game as that, because he and Mark Cerny just went around the world on a global tech search and stuff. So I don't know. I find it kind of hard to believe that they found an engine just a month or two ago and came up with this so quickly. But it's Hideo, so you never know. I mean, who really knows? But that game, from what they shown, it looks great.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm interested.
but we don't know what that game is
Yeah, no, I'm still
at all.
interested.
And but I got a good feeling that game's at least 2 years out, probably even 3, maybe even 4. After that, we got Spider-Man PS4 coming from Insomniac.
Man. I hope that title stays.
Oh man,
Great title.
I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, it looked great.
Absolutely stoked. And I don't really have much more to say other than I'm just floored.
Finally, again.
I wonder why.
Your boy.
Yep, I'm stoked.
Yeah, like it's been a long time.
It's been a really long time since we've gotten
But good.
a Spider-Man game, and it's been a really, really long time since we've gotten a really good Spider-Man game. So yeah, I'm absolutely pumped. So it's not being made by Sucker Punch, which everyone thought. So they got to be working on something else.
Yeah.
But I trust Insomniac. They're a good developer with a pretty good history, pretty good track record. So I think they'll do
the
it
suit
right.
was interesting.
Yeah.
Had the white spider.
Yeah,
And then
and I don't know what universe this is taking place in. It definitely looks like we're staying. I mean, it seems like it's Peter Parker still. I can't see. I can't see them going with Miles Morales, because if they did, I think they would have went with his more traditional suit. But you can also make that argument for Peter's suit too. So who knows? We'll see. No release date on that one. I wonder when that one's gonna come.
I don't know. Next year.
late.
Possibly,
17 maybe?
but I almost think they would have dated it if it were coming next year. No.
I can definitely see it next year though.
Well,
That's what they showed
It
too.
looked polished.
yeah, it did look surprisingly polished for something that didn't have a release date, I thought. So after that, like we said earlier, we got more, or we got the Days Gone footage that looked really good, and that game looks awesome, and I'm sure it'll be awesome. So now let's talk about what you guys thought about the conference as a whole. I mean, we'll start with you, Miller.
Thought it was, in the beginning, I was really confused because they did that long intro with like the orchestra and the singing and stuff. But when they led it up into God of War, like I saw why they did that. So that was my only like critique of it that I thought was kind of weird. But I liked it in the end with what it came out with. I thought it was amazing. They seemed like every game there like would be one that I would want to play.
Yeah.
They didn't stop. All they did was play the trailers and the gameplay or whatever, and just kept going.
Yep. Trevor, what did you think?
Oh, I'm happy with it too. I mean, same reasons. Every complaint I had about the other conferences was like, oh, well, they put things out in weird order, or they paced it weird or whatever. But I think they paced it really well, and I don't really have any complaints.
See, I think this press conference was probably the best one that I've seen, that I can remember anyway. Last year's, a lot of people said that Microsoft won last year's, even though they were both pretty good. But this year, I don't know. We'll get into this again here in a bit, but I definitely think this was their best one, at least that I remember. Pacing seemed really good, just bang, bang, bang. The only lull that they really had, I think, was the Lego Star Wars stuff, which, well, I mean, whatever. Like, that was a 2-minute trailer or whatever. I mean,
it
so
kept it short. It's not our cup of tea. But
Yeah.
like, someone likes it, people buy it, so they got to talk about it. But they kept it concise.
Drew, what do you think?
Pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, huh?
Kind of covered everything.
Well, it was jam packed with games, back to back.
They didn't come out every time to talk about each one individually.
It looked
They
great.
just kept going.
No filler. Yep.
So Trevor is the only one out of us four to have a PlayStation. I don't know about you and Drew over here, Miller, but I think the three of us need to be getting on the PlayStation train pretty soon, probably.
They would have showed me that Neo, and maybe.
You're down with the Neo?
Maybe.
If they if Drew was saying earlier, if
Oh,
they
I'm
show
ready.
the Neo, maybe we get a price drop on the regular, which I think we'll get a small price drop.
When that comes out, for sure. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's what we think of the Sony press conference. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to have more coverage up soon. Be sure to stay tuned. But we'll see you guys next time.